Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to ThinkView, and this is NK. So if you just bought a new iPad and start using it, you will start to realize that this is not really that optimized for studying and working out of nowhere. To really get the best out of the iPad, you really need to learn how to set it up. And in today's videos, we will share with you the most essential things you should do after buying an iPad, from basic setup to optimize different workflows. For example, keeping your working, studying, and entertaining completely separate. Or even show you how to put different modes on iPad when you plug or unplug into an external monitor, which make it sound like two totally different iPad, right? And all of these are based on our using experience because we at ThinkView don't just share raw number, but we rather share what we feel and learn during the time using each devices, even with the iPad. Now, the best part is it's only take you less than 10 minutes to set up. And without further ado, let's get started. The very first thing that you should do after buying an iPad is manage how your iPad sync with your other Apple devices. And because every Apple user has an iCloud account, which basically is your personal cloud storage. And if you log in with the same Apple ID on your iPhone, iPad, and MacBook, all of your data will be synced across devices. But here's the thing, not everything needs to be synced. Some people just don't want their photos, file, or even messages to pop up on all of their devices. Which means on some devices, you might want to turn this on, but on some others, you might want to turn the syncing off. Now, let me show you how to do it. You first need to go to Setting, and under the iCloud setting, you can pick whatever app you want to turn syncing on or off. And for me, I only keep Notes, Reminder, and Freeform synced, so I can access the brainstorming board or quick note across devices. But things like iMessage or Messenger app, I would rather to turn it off completely since I never reply to messages on iPad anyways. Now once you're done with all the syncing, let's get to the next step is to setting up app, dock, and widget. The first thing I do with literally every iPad is to clean up the home screen. The idea here is to only keep things that matter most. I uninstall apps that I will never use like FaceTime or Apple Maps. I also avoiding installing the mobile version of apps like Google Drive, Docs, and Figma because they are clunky and having fewer features compared to the web version. Instead, I would just use Safari for those. Doing this not only helps you to save quite a lot of iPad space, but also make sure that those links you got open directly in Safari instead of opening in the apps. And honestly, the web interface is the one that we already get used to. On iPad, the dock here is one of the things that I most interact with, so that's why I prefer to keep it as clean as possible. And those apps that you rarely use don't need to stay there. Instead, I enable recent apps so I can easily switch between the one I just opened. And since iPadOS 26, you can even pin the folder that you most use in here at the dock. Like, I keep a folder for note-taking and photo editing and quick access to download in the file apps. Widgets on iPad ever since iPadOS 26 onward are very powerful tool because now you can interact with a lot of elements without opening an app. Like here, I keep a reminder widget. Say if I add a task on my phone, it will instantly show up here. And I can check them off directly from the widget itself. And I don't need to even go into the app. I also keep an Apple Music widget for quick access to my playlist. And if you want multiple widgets but don't want them to clutter your home screen, just stack them up. And I use this stack to group note and file widget together. And if you're curious about the sticker style widget I have here, it's from an app called Post-it. All you need to do is download the app, then go to the app itself and use Apple Pencil to create your own widget. And not just that, but I also got more trick up my sleeve. And coming up next is a completely game changer, an extremely powerful widget. It's called Shortcuts. I have set up a shortcut for studying mode and another for relax mode. And when I switch between them, not only does the wallpaper change, but the app, notification, and even the layout adjust automatically for that context. For example, you can see that when I connect the iPad to an external monitor, it can automatically switch to my work mode layout. This is one of the most underrated iPad features, and I highly recommend you to set it up. It also helps avoid distraction because if you see games on your home screen, for example, chances that you will play game and completely forget about the work. And that's why I separate everything into different spaces. And about the spaces, as you can see here, I have two separate modes, one for study and the other for entertainment. In study mode, notifications are muted, wallpaper switch into a focus mode, and only apps like Note, ChatGPT, or Notebook LM are visible. Games are disappear entirely from the home screen. On the contrary, however, switching to entertainment mode and the setup changes to support relaxation. This way, you can create different spaces for each need. It makes it much easier to stay focused and avoid distraction. At least from the product standpoint, because after all, it still depends on you. But yeah, you can create as many modes as you want. Now, here is how to set it up as a shortcut. Generally speaking, I use an iPad feature called Focus Mode. First and foremost, you should remember to turn off Share across devices. Otherwise, your iPhone and MacBook will also mute notification. Then, create a new home screen for your chosen workspace. You can go from Setting, Focus, and add New Focus Mode. And here, you can give it a name and icon as you want to. Now, there are two more crucial things that you should keep in mind. First is that to configure notification. This allows you to choose which people and app can reach you. Like for work, I allow Gmail and Slack, and other social apps should be blocked. And then the second is pick your home screen. You choose the home screen that you just created earlier as a designated home screen. Next, under the shortcut app, you choose create a new shortcut, and then add the focus action. And then select the workspace you want to, and you can create as much shortcut as you want for the amount of workspace you created. Then back to the home screen, place the focus widget on your home screen so you can quickly switch between modes. And a little tip here is to make this shortcut available to be accessed in different workspaces, so then you can switch between modes easily. And to further utilize this feature, you can set it in a way so that when you plug your iPad into an external monitor, it's automatically switched to work mode. Neat, right? And with just a simple step, you can turn your iPad into a streamlined tool for working and studying while still keep a separate space for game and entertainment. And these setups aren't about making the iPad look fancy or anything, they're just about the real efficiency. And of course, if you want to, you can go crazy with customization and the iPad can transform in endless ways. But for me, I would rather keep it clean and effective. But what about you? What tips you have to fully utilize your iPad? Let me know in the comment section down below, okay? Now, thanks for watching. This is NK from ThinkView, and see you guys next time.